You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Hey, what's up, people?
What is going on?
What's up, family? We are back with the Zod and Drea podcast.
For another fantastic podcast for another week.
All right, so this week was good. I had a really good weekend.
Yeah, where'd you go?
We spent our weekends in separate places. I went to Oklahoma. Went to a place called Bartlesville. That's where we hung out, but we went to this ranch called Woolaroc. Woolaroc, owned by some guy named Frank Phillips, who's been dead. But he was an oil tycoon. Yeah, it's crazy. He was an oil tycoon, and obviously he made a whole bunch of money over there. Lived, or at least really appreciated the Cherokee lifestyle for whatever reason. This guy was obsessed with Cherokee life. They gave him some name, but we were able to go there for an art exhibition that was happening called The Best of the Best. And we were hanging out with a whole bunch of different artists out there that were where it was held over at the Woolaroc area. So it was my mother and my sister had bought a painting from one of the artists, which was the best of the best. And his name is Dean Mitchell. And Dean Mitchell is a watercolorist, but he's also, he uses acrylic, oil. This guy can do everything. Impressionism, realism. I mean, his whole style is amazing, but it's his watercolor. So my sister had one of his paintings that she had bought, and it was displayed over there. And we just had a really good time looking at the buffalo, the zebra. I mean, this ranch
I loved
is
your
ridiculous.
pictures.
Yeah. So in case you haven't seen it, make sure you go into the Zod and Drea Twitter account, and you'll be able to see it for the Indigenous Day that we had posted.
So, what are we going to talk about this week?
So this week we're going to be talking about in politics We the People Summit, which both myself and Drea are a part of.
Tip the hat. Yes, we are.
So it's going to be a summit on November 4th. If you're here in the Phoenix area, make sure you get tickets at WeThePeople.summit.com, but we're going to discuss that a little bit later.
And on the entertainment side, we're going to talk about Mother. The Darren Aronofsky movie, which you either loved it or you despised it.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, it's almost like Napoleon Dynamite. You either loved it or you despised it. There's
or
really
you want
no
to pull out
middle
your
ground.
eyes and just erase your memory of it.
Yeah, so it's just one of those. You know, it is what it is. Last but not least, our main topic that we're going to be talking about in the second half is, if you could live in another country, where would it be? So we're going to focus on relationships, other countries, and, something a little bit more lighthearted than what's been going on in the news cycle for the last, 24 hours. But I can say that 24 hours before that and 24 hours before that, whatever. So we're just going to pretty much take you there. So
we're going to play and have a fantasy world.
That's it. Let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, let's just get it right into the summit, because I want to discuss this.
Please.
In case you haven't seen it last time, I think it happened in June 24th, I believe, was the first We the People Summit. When what it is we have three women who had put together a summit that had approximately about 1,500 people, where it's to engage civically. So if you weren't an activist before, or you want to know about activism, that's what you would do. You would load up your wallet, go over to the WeThePeopleSummit.com website, buy yourself a ticket, and attend this thing. You get a name tag. It's very well done. So we went to the first one as, we're friends of everybody that has to, anything to do with We the People regardless. So we went to the first one, with no real big expectations except to show up. We were just involved in some of the Stronger Together stuff that we're involved with, but seeing that all the people and meeting all the different people was really empowering, and seeing people in these classrooms. So civic engagement, I see my man Richard Cruz do his thing, and Alacia Sears, where they were talking about more of the black experience on their side.
Petra Flacon was there to discuss immigration.
So we had a bunch of different people in the community who put their input in, and it was really diverse. It was really great. There were, of course, you're going to get critics who didn't think that, their side wasn't represented enough, and, that's why I wanted to get involved myself. To make sure that we did, but to make sure it was also even all around for everybody, because everybody's experience is important.
And what I was excited to to take this on with you then this time was because they were able to do this with no money, literally no money. They were able to make this happen and had how many people then attended the last?
No, I was saying 1,500.
Yeah, the 1,500. So this next one, it's gonna be like the next like point two up, next level. So. Some of the classes that they're going to have is like campaign volunteer roles, civic dialogue 202, avoiding burnout, how to stay strong for the fight and be your own advocate, creating your story. This one's going to be my favorite because I like the title, Not My Box, Women's Reproductive Rights. So it's going to tap into so many subjects.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing things like intersectionality of gun violence. So, I mean, gun violence is one thing, but we want to talk about who it affects. And when, it's not just, monolithic. There are people who get attacked using gun violence everywhere. So we're going to discuss some of that. Say what? No promo homo. Can you believe that was actually the name of a bill? No promo homo. So we're going to discuss some of those and also anti-LGBTQ laws that they're also represented. Unions and unity in the community. I mean, it's hard to say unions and unity in the community, but,
That's a tongue twister.
It's a cool one. Outlaw dirty money. Make sure you visit www.wethepeoplesummit.com to get a lot more information. Now, we were involved with this one. We were involved with some of the naming. Murphy, Jennifer, and Trisha really helped put, they're the ones who really started all this to put it all together. And we're part of the steering committee to help. So I had designed the website, and every graphic that you see that has anything to do with We the People Summit is my design. What are you doing?
And nice t-shirts too.
Thank you. We'll talk about that in a second.
And I'm also helping not only with marketing, but with sponsorships too. So for anybody that's out there that wants to see about sponsoring or having your company or your organization's logo anywhere, that's what I'm doing, is I'm reaching out to those people.
So make sure you check out some of the things that are on there to see where you would want to come in. Now, we have early bird pricing that's going on right now. So I believe that's $30.
For students?
No, I'm sorry. It's $20 for students, and it's $35 general right now. These are the early bird tickets that are going to be going up. So $35 in order to get into civic engagement, find out where you're going to be in this place of history. Now, what's going to be happening differently this time around is we're going to do the next step. We're going to be doing the next step as into what you do. So there's a plan A, but there's also a plan B. So the plan B is what is next, where you can actually get involved. It's not just telling you what it is, but how you're going to wind up being affected.
And also, too, how to empower you to be informed and how to take it on to a continuous level, to not burn out, but to continue on what it is that is important to you. You've got the tools and the resources and whatever it is going to be to engage in your community. What they're also going to have, too, is what I appreciate is a segment on how to have conversations with others that have the different views of you. So this way, it teaches you some of those tools as well.
All right, so if you can, make sure you go to wethepeoplesummit.com, also at We the People Summit. You can find it on Facebook and everywhere in order to get involved.
And buy a t-shirt.
And we'll see you there. Yeah, so make sure you check out the t-shirts. So on entertainment side, this is going to take like the whole segment because we went and saw the movie Mother, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem. And there's also a movie review that you'll be able to read right there, be able to see the trailer and everything on the Zod Andrea podcast website. So go to zodandrea.com and you will be able to see.
You did a very good job with that.
I mean, I did what I could.
Because it was hard to capture all of that, I think, for the movie.
Yeah, without giving it away. The whole thing is about not giving it away. And I gotta respect Darren Aronofsky right now because I had to look it up. Leaving the movie,
we were so angry.
Just pissed. Like we were like, this movie is garbage.
I don't think I've ever yelled at a screen so hard in my life.
Because they advertised it like, oh, this is gonna be the next thing that your parents are gonna fucking kill you for, and
you will never. You will. What was it? You will remember the day you saw
your mother. Oh God, I'm like, oh yeah, it was fucking September 4th. I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody knows. So being a horror movie just freak, I'm like, yo, this has got to be the craziest horror movie that's going to be coming out. Like, they talked me up. I'm like, I haven't heard, like, a commercial like that since, like, the 70s. Like, oh, you will remember the day, mother. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And you know what was so funny? Like, you're definitely going to feel hints of Rosemary's Baby in this, without a doubt.
Heavy, yeah.
But if you look at the poster, I got to show you the two posters that they had side by side. One of the original Mother posters, which I didn't put up, and Rosemary's Baby's poster.
The profile face?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's funny to see that with Mother, and you're thinking, okay, that's where I'm going to wind up getting something from it. Meaning, what's her name? Who's that short haircut lady that was
Mia Farrow?
Mia Farrow. I'm like, okay, but it wasn't. It was something completely different. At first, you're not going to even understand what the hell is going on, and then when Michelle Pfeiffer rolls up with Ed Harris, then you're like, okay, this is just nonsense. The one thing that we realized was we're not very, and I can't speak for you, but I'm not very religious. I'm just not a religious guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can know pieces of the Bible and this and that, and I like to cherry pick it, not to use against people, but cherry pick just pieces and try to relate it to whatever.
There were some segments where it made me think of my Bible school study and stuff like that, but it was, for me, it was just hard to get all the stories to come together. I'm a fan of the director. Requiem for a Dream messed me up and I loved it. Black Swan, loved it. And this one, it just, for me, took a moment to even deal with the cinematography, because remember, I was getting a little nauseous.
Yeah, you're getting a little dizzy in the beginning until you got used to it. Look at the poster. See that? And see that? Look. That's funny. Look at that. Look at the poster. Sorry, we're looking at the poster right now with Mother's poster versus Rosemary Baby's poster. It's funny.
Come on. So you look at that expectations that are
look
set.
At that. So you're like, okay, this is gonna be something. Darren Aronofsky, the director of Black Swan, you will not forget the day you see Mother.
It will be burned into your skull forever.
Instead, we're like, what the fuck? Okay, there's a rock, and then
did I even throw anything at the screen? I think I was so mad.
It's like, okay, so we didn't know what was going on with it, but once you break it down, I had to look it up to find out what the breakdown of Mother was, because it made no sense to me. Mm-hmm. To me, it didn't. Why was this woman pretty much not leaving the house? Why did she come out of ashes and be in the bed all of a sudden? And then what the hell is the deal with her husband? He's bugged out, and
these World War II scenes coming out of nowhere?
War scenes were coming out of nowhere. Ed Harris kept on coughing. His wife was just like an asshole.
And their kids.
And their kids. They got two boys who were just like
I wanted to slap them.
Slap the crap out of you. Why are you fighting in the house, and what's your deal? Then
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig
comes out of nowhere.
What's funny is you don't think about her in her comedic sense in this movie, but it's funny because she was put in there because of her comedic sense, because of what she represented. So when you break it down and you actually look at it from a religious aspect, then it becomes almost genius. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, the way he did this was almost genius. But to me, I think it would have been better set on a stage than on a movie.
It would have been a fantastic play.
It would have been a great play, especially if you knew kind of what it was and what they were doing. Then you'd be like, okay, I can get it.
I wish they didn't promote it as a horror movie, because then you have those expectations. I wish it was promoted like more drama or thriller.
Yeah, then whatever.
Please listen carefully.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod.
And I'm Drea.
And we want you to check out the Zod and Drea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodanddrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod and Drea.
Instagram?
Zod and Drea.
Snapchat?
Zod and Drea.
YouTube?
Zod and Drea.
I see a pattern.
So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod and Drea on all the social networks. But also, make sure you subscribe to the Zod and Drea podcast. Where?
At zodanddrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye.
And we are back. So,
all right.
I love this topic.
So, yeah, we're just going to have a little fun this time around. Why stress it out?
Mm-hmm. So, if you could live in another country, where would it be?
I mean, people always have, the way that I had written it on the site is kind of funny. It's just, I wrote the political landscape of the United States is tense. It's been tense since November. Considering nuclear bombs are probably headed our direction, this is more incentive for us to just bounce if you want survival. You can do the patriotic thing and, I'm a patriot and bald eagle on your arm, and I'm gonna stick with the United States, and I'm gonna just be but
that bald eagle's gonna poop on your shoulder and fly away.
like, be
okay,
out. Like he's like, he's the bald eagle will be just like us. He's like, I need to survive. So while people who want to be considered patriots can stay here while nuclear bombs are hitting, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to go somewhere else. Some people are thinking south, we'll go to Mexico somewhere and chill out there, in Cabo or
South America, maybe
just hang out with the friggin' Peruvians
Chile.
and some Inuits or whatever, and hang out with the Inca people. But me, I mean, I've been to Europe a bunch of times, and I just have a fondness for it. And there's a couple different reasons why I'd want to go over to Europe, and I think one of the places is it's either Germany or France.
I'm about to say, I bet you it's France.
So France is number one on my list. I mean, I could just live in the old country. I can live in Paris, and be out. But what's so cool about it is the fact that the places are so close to each other. Where in our country, our states are like their countries. So, you drive over a couple hours, you're in another country, not just a state, but you're in another country who's speaking a whole different language. I mean, do you realize how many languages you'd be able to pick up in like a 5-year span?
At least 5.
Like, come on, like it's nothing. So we would be able to be just chilling, have kids, whatever, just hang out. And, the United States is getting bombed, and all the MAGA people who think that Trump is still great while they're on, lit on fire like Pompeii. It's like, whatever, that's you. I am going to be an expat chilling over there somewhere, hanging out, just drinking my cranberry juice.
No vino?
No vino. I don't even need French vino. I'm good. People just hanging out, being cool as shit. The only thing is they smoke a lot of cigarettes out there. But, I'll just go elsewhere. And what's cool about it is you can jump on a train and just be in another country really quick. You can also Africa. I always want to go to Africa because I mean another place I wouldn't mind being is like in Kenya. I have a friend here, Janice, who's from Kenya. I haven't talked to her in a while. But she has just told me so much about Kenya and just how beautiful it is and the people and how forward thinking they are, and that's one place I would love to go. Nigeria. I'd love to hit Nigeria, South Africa. But to live, I would be able to do that from a Europe standpoint because here is like you got Canada up north, like so you're in another country, but that's it. The United States is so big. Then you go south, you're in Mexico, and that's cool. Finally you can hit South America and hit a bunch of countries there, but over there, maybe even in like South America, you can hit so many different countries. Brazil, go to Brazil, in a short time span. In Europe, you can just do that and just be a lot, what I think, freer. Imagine the healthcare is better out there. Maternity care is better out there. The food is really good. I'd probably be missing a lot of stuff over. I mean, I'd have to find the soul food spot that actually,
Maybe that would be the job then.
Like that would be it, right?
Yeah, the soul food shop
I'd
right
be like,
there.
Mom, you're moving to France with us.
That would be the work. I also am really fond of, and I haven't gone there yet, but I really would think the Netherlands would be
Netherlands is cool.
So fun and so creative to live. And so I actually looked up, there was a woman from America that relocated to the Netherlands, and she posted on some of her experiences and what to expect and why you would want to move there. Annoying etiquette and norms. She wrote something about you must take off your coat when entering a building, otherwise it's considered rude. Like, I know that's not something you want to move there for, but it was just like interesting to read all these critiques. But the one thing that really was interesting to me was that the crime rate is very low. And also, you get, when you work for a company in the Netherlands, a month off of paid vacation.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, they really do value their employees.
And education is such a huge business there because it's also priority for all of their entire population there. And again, same thing. You can pick up the Dutch language, and you can, I can learn Castilian Spanish, and then you got Italy. I mean, and because again, it's so close to so many other countries. So like we could do a weekend trip to
anywhere.
Anywhere.
Well, we could go to the British Isles. A whole different language. like in a couple of hours.
And let's see, and she also stated, and this is really funny for some reason, if you're doing really poorly at your new job, don't fret. It's almost impossible to get fired from a job in Holland because the Dutch system tends to support employees rather than employers. Wow.
So it's almost a union.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
union country.
You know, where people are valued for who they are, what they can do for you, and I mean, even the prison system. I don't know if you've ever seen like prison systems around the world. I'd have to look it up again, but they are. I'm not going to say they're country clubs, but they focus on redemption and rehabilitation.
Wow,
you know,
who would've
whereas
thought of that?
over here they try to jail you for punishing you, and it's like, okay, you know, when you're out, you're out. You know, that's about it. So it's really amazing that they try to focus and try to rehabilitate people so that they can work better in society, as opposed to in this country where they just, you know, you do something wrong, it's like they cannot wait
You'd love
to
this.
throw you in prison.
Everything in Holland is done through online banking. Paper checks are a thing of the past. I know how much you just...
No, and I looked that up too. I actually looked that up a few days ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, like literally, the thing I was looking up was why does the United States still use paper checks? This was last week.
That is so funny you came across this.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
So that would be my first. Second would be Spain. Ever since I read Ernest Hemingway at the age of 10 years old, why a 10-year-old girl in Catholic school got a hold of Ernest Hemingway, The Bells Toll, don't ask. But it made me fall in love with Spain. I wanted to go to the cafes, have some wine, smoke a cigar, talk to the painters, maybe even at a moment, I have to admit, I wanted to run with the bulls. But now that I really see how awful it is, I don't think I want to do that anymore.
No, I don't want to do that.
But just to be around that country and to be surrounded by all that architecture. You know, I love just the whole, you know, architecture, and you got the farmlands. Like that would make that my number two.
Like one of the downsides they say, I looked up being the pros and cons of being an expat. And you know, one of the things they do say is most of your friends are not in the same country. You know, I mean, you think about it, like you might get a sense of loneliness when you wind up going out to another country. So it's like, okay, you know, I want to live in another country, which I do. That's why my plan is to want to live in another country for 6 months. Move back, you know, then I deal with whatever, but boom, move back over to wherever I am. Just so that I can have a dual location going back and forth to someplace and just enjoying life. And one of the things is, you know, if somebody is not in your closest continent, you know, near you, your friends, you can't really experience what you want with them. Now, it's kind of not too bad being in the United States because our country's so vast and large that some people I don't get to see except once a year, twice a year, if that. Some people I haven't seen in years because of our distance. So if I'm in another country, what the hell's the difference? You know, they would have the more benefit of the better benefit anyway, because they can be able to get a ticket over.
A plane trip's a plane trip.
A plane trip. So, but then, you know, the upside is you do have friends all over the world from different cultures and spread all over the globe. Like, I mean, so if you're living in France and you're going to wind up meeting someone from Germany and someone from Amsterdam, and then you're going to meet all these people that now they're spread out over the world in a much safer environment.
Right.
Like, shoot. Come on.
And take on what you learn from them and those experiences, and then maybe add it on, you know, contribute it back and bring that back to the States to show people like, hey, you know, this is what can happen if you work together and do this or do that. I don't know. I'm always looking at like long term, like what could I bring back? You know, no matter what, Mom, Dad, Victoria, Matt, you guys have to go with us. Okay, so don't worry about that.
And they're going to go where?
I'm like, depends on where we go.
Wait, what?
Like they would have to like come by and visit.
Oh, visit.
Yeah,
visit.
Or live, depends.
Visit. Like, look. I'm not trying to get my family to move to, like, nah, they're good. They're good. They stay where they are. I go to where I am, and then we'll miss each other. Look, don't know. I love your family, but look, we got to do certain things by ourselves, okay? Mm-hmm. What are you nodding for?
I'm just saying, like, if we have a great experience, like, why not? Why not bring the people that we love around? If we have a great time, bring them, and especially if we have a child.
Okay, so number one, here's where we're going to differ.
Mm-hmm.
When you start bringing other people around you, yeah, sure. You got to wonder, is that a comfort for them or a comfort for you?
I think for them sometimes.
Okay, I'm going to ask that again.
Because I lived alone. Remember, I lived alone in another state without any family around me.
Right, which means you learned a certain lesson, which is, if I like it a lot, then I'm going to try to encourage other people to... That's for you. That is so for you. That's not for
And so
them.
what would be wrong with sharing that?
Anyway, they can see our updates on Facebook. Because I'm not trying to bring my yeah, no offense to my family. I love the hell out of my family. I mean, my sister would be real cool because I know she would appreciate that because we've been out there together.
Yeah, you've guys a lot of experience together.
But, it's like, you don't have to, like, unless you really want to, come and visit, and that's your choice. But, shit. Anyway, like, one of the things they do say, see, this is for you,
what?
is
Tell me what's
about
for
the
me.
downside of living outside the country and being an expat. Sometimes you get really lonely. See, to me, that's you, and you just need to be surrounded by other people that are your friendly. Me, I'm the type of guy where I will move out somewhere by myself and make a whole bunch of friends there.
And I've done that too, and it's been
Lies.
fun. Yes, I have. You know that. I got my peeps.
I'm here.
And
You're back.
I did come back.
See? Don't listen to Drea. Her advice is horrible.
My advice is fantastic.
You get lonely. So they say, of course, when you're a single person, thousands of miles from your family and friends, you get lonely. What they say the upside is you learn to appreciate yourself and really be your own best friend. I'm like, whatever, man. That's weak. To me, you just go out and you learn to be your best. Whatever. Hell no. You go out and you meet
You're
a whole
not your
bunch
best friend?
Nah, you go. No, Chucky is though. Friends to be young.
Oh, God. I don't look stupid, Chucky. You're redheaded doll.
My redheaded doll. It's like, so here's another downside. So downside, they're saying going home might be prohibitively expensive, so you rarely see your family, which is true. Going home does. Like, imagine you have to go. I was like, geez, God, I got to go back home because somebody died. Oh, damn, I got to go to the funeral. You better scrape up that quick 2 G's. I mean, it can be expensive. You better have something. Like, in order to live overseas, when you're from another country where you plan on going back or everybody else is back there, you're going to probably be the one to be going back more often than they would be to visit you. That's why you want your family here. So, but the upside, guess what?
What?
Your family may come to visit you.
Ta-da! See, everybody's having a good time.
Everybody's having a good time drinking your wine.
That I'm gonna make when I live in Spain with my feet.
My thing is, I like to miss people. I like to be like, oh, I see you, and then when I see you, but then if you're there all the time, especially if you've been over there, and then they come to visit, and they're like, we're gonna stay. Who do they call? So what's good around here? Oh, I want to... Until they get used to their comfort just like you, and you're like, oh my God, it's been 6 months. I'm like, not to say. Anyway, that's what I'm saying.
I don't get what that was about.
Because, like, then they're always around. Then they take up your space. What was private to you, now they have to be like, okay, well, what are the good places to eat? Oh, over here. Oh, could you guys meet us over here? We want to know where to shop. Oh, we want to go to this place that you've been to 50 times. Oh, we want to go to...
Aw, you've been used too much for the tourist guide, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you haven't, yeah. Like, God, it's like, geez, in other words, what do you think we did when we got here? We didn't have anything. We didn't have any guides. We had Google, and that was it. But that's me. That's me. She wants her whole family there. Me, I'm like, you can take, I love their family, but, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go over here.
And hide off.
Yeah,
Get your backpack.
Come and visit, but after they've been, my family been there for 3 months.
I know we only got 40 seconds left. I do have a question. Would there be any specifically something from the United States that you would miss when you would be overseas?
Man, this is gonna be a quiet 40 seconds.
Just a question.
Besides my friends. You know what? The one thing that I would have to say is, I am not your Negro, what James Baldwin did when he left, and he lived in France all that time. The reason he said he came back is because people were struggling. His people were struggling, and he felt that he needed to be back home for the fight because he felt like he was cheating everybody. So I think that's the one thing I would miss is the fact that although I'm comfortable, everybody else back home would not be. And that's the one thing. So anyway, we got through it again.
Woo!
So we hope you had this fun, listening to this conversation about, Drea's family living with us in Europe.
In Europe, yay!
And her being happy and me being, whatever.
You'll be just happy too.
Yeah, I'll be happy because I'll be taking weekend trips alone somewhere else in Europe because it's cheap.
So you guys talk about this amongst yourselves. If you're a couple, what would you do? What would you, where would you go? Tell us what you think.
Remember, we got Asia, we got
Yeah,
Europe,
I didn't even
we got
tap
Africa,
into all
we
of
got
that.
Australia, so we got a whole bunch of different places that you'd be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Asia would too. Yo, shout
I
out
like
to
Thailand.
Shout out to Hidetaka over in Japan. I'm gonna see you one day, man. I like Thailand's one of my
I
things.
would really like Thailand.
New Zealand is another one I want to check out. So there are different places that we want to go. So hopefully soon, because I got to see the Northern Lights.
And
before I
again,
die.
check out too before we leave. We the People.
Yeah, WeThePeopleSummit.com. All right, ZodandDre.com. Peace.
Bye.